Welcome back to Talos of Tech live on YouTube. Thank you for our YouTube members. Some of our new ones are James Games, Urza, and Catherine Monzel. Thank you for becoming YouTube member and supporting me month to month. Thank you for the first super chat, Chris Norton, saying, love Apple. Yeah, me too. I'm kind of in the same boat. You may have noticed that. I kind of started a career out of it. But never mind, because all of that is meaningless given I saw a comment that said Samsung is better. It changed my... I'm convinced now. I'm getting a Note 9. I've pre-ordered one, half a terabyte. I'm going to put a micro SD card in it. I'm going to put so many Fortnite skins on my Note 9. It's going to be the best smartphone in the world. I'm getting so many V-Bucks. Anyway, that's a sarcasm, by the way. I'm not getting the Note 9. I don't care. Rockford Tech super chatted. Thank you very much. Says, hey, Drew, can I get a shout out? Also making a vid now about Samsung with having no store. I don't have a store. All right, Rockford Tech, there's your shout out. Please, people, check him out. He's got a video coming on the way. But I know Samsung has physical stores. I'm not sure if they're as plentiful as Apple stores. I'm not sure myself. But hey, Viper's in the chat. Are you getting those V-Bucks? What are you getting included? Are you getting the AKG headphones? I'm curious which one we're getting. Thomas Bradley, hey. Badly. Thanks for joining. What about the iPhone color? I'm honestly like, okay, so little sneak peek. Since you're watching this live, you get to see this a little early. But I've got my hands-on look on the future iPhone 9 and iPhone 10 Plus here. And I'll be talking a little bit about them. I just filmed the video on them. We're going to edit that and I'll publish it later. But you know what I have to say about them that I didn't think I would end up saying? This isn't a point I realized. They're very similar in size. If you couldn't tell, just between the single lens camera and the dual camera, that's the most noticeable difference. But at a quick glance, you couldn't tell which is which. If I started, switching these back and forth, obviously 10 Plus is a little larger, but they are very, very close. And this may be an unpopular opinion. I actually think a lot of people will find the 9 too large. If you exclude the 10 Plus, if you pretend the 10 Plus doesn't exist, the 9, it's still the largest display we'll ever have on an iPhone, if you ignore the 10 Plus. Yes, it's launching at the same time. Let's just take that out of the equation. This is still the largest screen we've ever had, which means that a lot of people might try this and find out, this isn't the size I prefer. A lot of people might find this a little too bulky. I think they really, really hit the nail on the head with the actual 5.8-inch iPhone 10 we got last year. This is a very, very comfortable size for most people. Most people could buy this and be content with it. I think almost an ideal phone for people would be the aluminum edges, the single lens camera on a 5.8-inch LCD, not a 6-inch. I don't know. This is just a theory of mine. I could be totally wrong about this, but yeah, I think this still might be a little bit too large for a lot of people out there. So yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll find out what happens. The Zolrak super chat, it says, after seeing that commercial, I've decided to leave my 10 and switch to Samsung. It's a very convincing commercial. I know. The way that guy says, why would I use that? I know. Good points. Very thought out, because what I like to do is I like to think about how powerful an iPhone is and think about the DxOMark scores, and then I go into a Samsung store and then tell all the employees about it. That's what I like to do. Matthew says, hey, so I have a YouTube channel and I make music cover videos. That may not be your forte, but I was wondering how I could get better audio on my phone. I believe there are, if you'd have to fail the portless challenge if you did so, but there are ways you can plug in a microphone. I believe Zoom makes a microphone via Lightning that plugs into your Lightning port on your iPhone, and then it uses that microphone. If you look up smartphone mics on Amazon, I don't use any of them. I don't look to get better audio on my phone. I think my iPhone actually has a pretty decent microphone on it. But if you want to get better, there are lav mics that you can plug directly into iPhones on Amazon that are usually pretty cheap. Almost C says, why do the Ingenious ads suck? To me, it's an ultimate show of desperation. What the Ingenious ads are is showing how worried Samsung is that their phone sales keep going down. I know the Samsung fanboys love to bring up, but they're 20% of the market. Samsung's 20% of the smartphone market. It's not the S9. It's not the Note 9. Those sales are going down, down, down. They're selling worse year after year after year. You know what's 20% of the market? They're $200 J series. They're budget phones. They sell well all over the world because they're incredibly cheap. They're $200. They don't have any curved display or anything like. They're just standard phones. That's the 20% margin. The S9, the Note 9, they're not doing good. They're not selling well. It's very possibly the last Note phone we'll ever see. Rockford, Texas, Drew, I published the chat we had a week ago or so. You published the chat we had. I'm trying to remember, Rockford. I'm sorry. But okay. Thanks for the super chat. Thoughts on group FaceTime being removed? The times I tried group FaceTime with iOS 12, it didn't work at all, so it doesn't surprise me that they removed it because they're probably trying to figure out a way to make it work better. Because right now, like, it's not working very well. I think they needed time to perfect it and master it or something. So they're like, you know what? We're not going to let everyone use it on the beta testing yet because it's not ready yet. So when I tried to do it, it didn't work at all. So I'm not like, oh, darn, now I can't group FaceTime people because I wasn't in the first place. It didn't work. So I understand why they're taking it down. Well, you've done something rare. You've actually found a Samsung store. I've never found one. I just know they have one. I just don't think they're as common as Apple Store. Or maybe they're always in something. They're always in a Best Buy or they're in a mall. They're never like their own independent thing. Oh, Benji Polly's got a suggestion. Rode Video Mic Me is really good. So there you go. There's an example. Plugs into the Lightning port. There you go. So if you need your own mic that plugs in that way, there you go. Let's see. Where was I? Jelly says, hey, Drew, have a recent subscriber and am a big fan. Well, thank you, Jelly. Appreciate it. Who else we got? Rockford Tech says again, Apple Sheep, Samsung Tiger. Thank you. I guess Samsung have tigers. Krista White's dabbing. Catherine says, hi there, Drew. So happy to be a new member. And thanks for coming on. Oh, good. Almost sees expressing his no need emoji. Michael says, hey, Drew, what do you think? Isn't there a cheaper model for both incoming iPhone sizes rumored? Why you think isn't there a cheaper model for both incoming iPhone sizes, Ruben? I mean, technically, the updated iPhone 10 will be cheaper. It'll start at $900 instead of $1,000, and it will likely still get an updated CPU and an updated camera. So that's the best overall upgrade. You're getting better stuff at less money. So it is getting cheaper, but yeah, for whatever reason, the SE rumors or the SE leaks or anything have gone dark, and we just haven't seen as many iPhone SE type stuff anymore. So we're assuming maybe it was too complicated in the lineup, or they couldn't justify the price with the features you got with it, so they canceled it altogether. So yeah, I guess it just didn't work out for them. They couldn't get it to find a sweet spot. Rod Super Chat says iPhone 10 Plus might have Apple Pencil option. Thoughts, pros and cons. So I don't think that's a good idea, and I do talk about it briefly in my next video, but I still have my Apple Pencil here. I'm not an artist, so I don't use it very much, but I hang on to it because we drew the original Talos of Tea on this, and it's got nostalgia factor to me, so I don't want to get rid of it. But holding a 10 Plus or something like this and using the pencil with it, I'm just like Viper brought up in his video, the stylus is far too large for the phone we're using it on. Like a stylus for a phone realistically should probably be a lot smaller, so it fits with it as well. But what they really need to fix is the Apple Pencil. This thing hasn't been updated in a long time, and it has very noticeable problems. I mean, are we going to pull the lightning cap off and plug it in like this? Like, that's going to be so stupid looking and so unintuitive. What needs to happen is they need to update the Apple Pencil so that it has a button on top. Hold down that button, and then it pairs via like W1 chip, and then you charge it via a stand or charge it via AirPower. Something else. The Apple Pencil is incredibly dated, and I'm not excited to find out that then this year's iPhone might support it. That's going to be dumb. That's going to be silly. They said the exact same thing last year, too, by the way. They said the iPhone 10 would support the Apple Pencil, and it didn't. So this is for artists who need to draw, and they need something very articulate, and that iPad is perfect for that. It's larger. It's got that high refresh rate. iPhone doesn't need that. You can use your finger on your phone. It's fine. You don't need a stylus for that. So I really hope that's not true. I really hope that doesn't happen. How do I join Discord? Sorry, you've been asked before. It's on my Twitter a while back. You might have to scroll a bit, but we intentionally don't advertise it very much because we prefer that community being smaller. Matthias says, I love your videos. You are very inspirational. Thank you for super chatting. There are Samsung stores. There's one in the mall. My Apple store is in. Okay, yes. I thought so, Benji. I'm pretty sure Samsung has stores. They're just not as common at all. They never use them in the Samsung ads. Samsung has pop-up stores in some malls and actual stores in South Korea. Gotcha. Understood. Let's see where else we got. Almost as you, Front Page Tech and Everything Apple Pro are my favorite tech YouTubers / analysts. Thank you. Glad to hear that. Samsung stores are not nice, though. Basically look like a carrier store. The phones are with those contraptions. Okay. Yeah, I've definitely never been in one. And I definitely think people will go to the Apple store for fun. People will go there to be like, let's go to the Apple. Let's see what they got. Let's play with the MacBooks and let's play with the iPads and the HomePod. People like go to Apple stores to hang out or just try things. I don't know of anyone who does that with Samsung. Let's go to the Samsung store. I heard the new Note 9 is out. Let's play. Let's play with it. Lucas Super Chat says, new iPad Pro September or October. Thoughts on it? If anything, it will most likely be revealed alongside the new iPhone with the amount of leaks we're getting for the iPads. It would make the most sense for them to unveil it there, but it might not ship in 2 weeks. It might not ship at the same time as the iPhones. It may be like, here's the new iPad Pros. They're coming this November. They're coming this October, coming later on. But I don't think they'll get their own separate, keynote. They won't get their own separate event. I don't think they need that. Let's see, moving on. Rockford Teds, thanks for the shout out, Drew. I have 11 subs now. Also, this is Matt. Oh, okay, Matt, please. People, check out Rockford Tech. There's your shout out. Thank you very much. Supporting Taylosive through YouTube. By the way, iOS 12 beta was just dropped. Guess they made the fixes for beta. That's the idea. They're dropping betas every single week now, so hopefully they get things ironed out. Do you have time to come on stream on Saturday? I'll be streaming at about 12 p.m. your time this Saturday. I have a very busy schedule right now, so I can't confirm anything. But if I am free on Saturday, I will try my best to be on your podcast, Benji. Thank you. Apple Pencil 2. That would be nice. I hope they release. It doesn't even need to be a 2. They really just need to fix. They've dropped 2 betas this week. Yeah. Well, I heard beta 7 was causing major problems. So I understand why they took that down, but that's what beta software is. It's exactly that. It's beta. It's not ready yet. It's not the full release. They need time to perfect it. They could very easily just button. That's all I'm asking. Even if it makes it cost a little bit more. If you're charging $100 for a stylus, what more is $120? Like if it's $120, but you get a charge stand, it just kind of sits on the charger. And then kind of like how an AirPod has a stem and you rest that in the AirPower charger and it has a little ring at the bottom. That's how it charges. Do that with an Apple Pencil or find a way for it to support AirPower. I'm not sure if that's possible with the general shape of the pencil, but this is already a problem. They need to fix this. I don't think they need to make it more supported on iPhones. That's not the problem. Maybe someone's out there doing that, but no one's really up here like, oh, why can't I use my Apple Pencil with my iPhone 10? What's the problem? Maybe someone's doing that, but I don't think you need this. I think a touchscreen at this size, your thumb can be specific enough and everything's close together enough that you can be precise about what you're tapping, about what you're scrubbing through if you're even doing video editing and stuff like that. I've seen someone try to make the argument the Note 9, the stylus is good for productivity because it helps with video editing. And I'm like, what video editing app are you using on Android? I can't figure that out. It's like, I need it for more video editing stuff. I'm like, well, if you're a video editor, get iMovie. First of all, get a smartphone with a camera that's good at video. Also get an app store that has multiple video editing apps that are professional or consumer grade. Yeah, a Qi charging Apple Pencil. That would be great. I don't know if that's possible because I know a Qi charger needs to have kind of like a coil in the back that does this, and it has to make contact with the Qi charger. I don't really know how you could do that with this. I know I was hearing AirPower has like 22 different tiny coils embedded in it, and that's how it's able to make that work. I don't know if that would work with this. We'll see. Let's see. Thanos super chatted says the Ingenious ads aren't meant for non-Samsung customers. They're more of a feel-good ads for Samsung users and are geared towards brand retention. Okay, Thanos, that should be a problem. That shows insecurity. If the only way to gear towards your fan base and to gear towards, hey, you made the right decision, is to say, other guy sucks, they're stupid, they're all stupid, they're stupid. If they're geared towards Samsung users, why don't they have Samsung phones in them? Not even a JPEG of the commercial. Not even a JPEG of the phone is in the commercial. If the only way you can confirm that you made the right purchase is to drastically and brutally try to attack everyone else, it shows that maybe deep inside you're not sure you made the right purchase. It shows insecurity. It shows that they're worried. It shows that they're nervous. It's just upgrade to Galaxy. It's not a picture. It's just upgrade to Galaxy. You made the right choice. Please don't go back to Apple. Please don't go back to Apple. Make fun of anyone who bought Apple. Please don't go back. Please don't go back. That if it's just about catering to the one side, then it shows insecurity. It's very embarrassing for them, and it should show how bad they are. It's just silly if a commercial is trying to make the effort that Notch is weird, Notch is an outlier, where not one, but two different notched phones are outselling Samsung, OnePlus 6 and the iPhone. You're not you're the outlier, Samsung. Notice how many companies are doing the curved display thing. You can't be like, hey, that looks weird when everyone's doing it and it's working. Everyone's buying it. Outside of the tech community on YouTube, not that many people care about the notch. It's not really a big persuasion elsewhere. Rock for Tech once again says, okay, Drew, I need to go film. Thanks so much. Remember to check out my channel. Please, guys, check him out. Rock for Tech. He's got a growing channel there. Guys, don't tell people to shut up in the chat. Be nice, please. Please, calm down. Matthew super chatted says, what is your opinion if Samsung and Google partnered each other and made a new Galaxy device running stock Android straight from Google? They don't need to partner. Samsung literally just needs to stop doing skins. That's the quickest way I think you could make a killer Android, like the best of both worlds. Literally, like the most persuasive way away from Samsung phones is the fact that they keep putting their own launcher and skin and apps on it and bloatware, and people don't like that. Samsung, you could spend less money. Just separate yourself from the software division. Just stop with the software team. Cancel all your third-party bloatware. Just make a stock Android version of the S10. That's it. Samsung hardware running stock Android. That thing would sell way better. The Pixel would die immediately. Who would care about the Pixel if you could get stock Android on a Samsung phone? Remove your logo for all I care. I mean, just like get your logo off the back of it. Try to separate that ugly, butt ugly Samsung skin. Just put stock Android on there. Sell great. That's the most frustrating thing about the Ingenious ads is that Samsung makes good hardware. There's no denying that. They're very innovative and they're very forward-thinking in how they make their hardware. But so much of what they do makes it hard to like. You know, like the Note 9, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just between the skins they put on top of it that make an inconsistent experience and the dated hardware between Snapdragon 845, which... Oh, you should have compared it to the Exynos version, Drew, because that's available for some people. The only people who can't get the Exynos version are the first and third most populated countries in the planet. Only those. Only China and the U.S. First and third most populated countries on the planet can't get that. And you're saying it's unfair of me to compare the iPhone to the Snapdragon 845? Give me a break. Oh, my God. Let's see. Oh, Jelly Nest super chatted again. Thank you. Says, one of the rumors said that the 6.1-inch iPhone will have 64, 256, and iPhone 10 and Plus will come in 512 gigs. I saw that rumor, Jelly. I will not be getting that. If that ends up happening, it's kind of a, what are you doing? Well, like, are we really running out at this point? Seriously? I can't, like, I don't get it. But, I will not be getting that storage option if that ends up happening. I personally would advise against it. If I was in charge of Apple, I wouldn't do that. I know everyone likes to say, like, Samsung, he criticizes Samsung for 512 gig, but if Apple did it, he'd love it. No, I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't. I think that's too much storage and no one's going to use that. I vlog 4K at 60 daily on my iPhone 10. I have so many videos, and I am nowhere close hitting that 256 gig. Nowhere even close. You're talking double that? It's unnecessary. It really is. But I guess if you want it, it's there. Ooh, great. Yeah, I'm not interested. Let's see. Many random things says, sorry, Drew, I can't find it. Is there another way? You can't find what? I'm sorry. Did I miss a super chat? I don't know what it is. But we got a lot of new members joining all at once. Jack Trent, thank you very much for becoming a new YouTube member. For those of you who don't know, if you don't want to super chat every single time you want your comment read, just become a member. It's $5 for the month, and then you're good. And then during these streams, your name sticks out. You get that badge next to your name. The longer you're a YouTube member, that badge will change color, showing how long you've been a supporter of the channel. Helps me out, too. Costs a lot less. And, yeah, it's worth it. Oh, new member Rockford Tech as well. Thank you. As well as Isaiah Thomas. Wow, cool. I think I'd get the 256 again. 64 isn't enough. For some people, yes. That's why the storage option is definitely there. And but I think if you're going to start storage at a certain place and say, okay, the cheapest phone comes with this much storage, I think 64 is fine. I've used 64 gig phones. It's worked out for me. Yeah, they could get full, but you have Google Photos that works on iOS, or you have iCloud storage. I mean, while it may, oh no, $3 a month. Yeah, like as much as that may annoy you, I think 64 gig is a fair starting place for storage options. I think that's perfectly fine. Hey, Drew, X knows that actually not Samsung's fault. It's Qualcomm's monopoly on CDMA chips. I don't care whose fault it is. I'm not blaming Samsung. I'm saying, like, the product is bad. They got stuck into this. They got stuck into this contract with Qualcomm, and now they're shipping smartphone chips that are inferior to Apple's. Apple's making their own chips, and they're working great. I'm not saying, like, I don't care if it's Bill's fault or if it's Greg's fault. It's still a problem. It's still slower, and it's dated. It doesn't excuse the fact that I don't want that phone for that reason. Well, the Note 7 exploded because someone actually screwed up at the factory, not actually Samsung. I don't care. It exploded. Whatever. Your audio's out of sync. Refresh the stream. I can't do anything about audio and sync things. That problem always happens on YouTube. Never happens on another streaming site that we'll be moving to shortly. But yeah, that's it. YouTube streams break all the time. It happens. How many AirPowereds, Matt, will you get when it does finally release? So I'm really hoping it's $150. Like the rumors are suggesting. That would be great. And I'll probably just get one. I don't know why I would need two. It's not really the charger, actually, I would use on my nightstand because I can't hold up the Apple Watch on its side and activate nightstand mode. Audio is fine. Yep, YouTube breaks. It's not actually my stream. It's your playback engine. Yeah, like I want AirPower, but if I put it next to my nightstand, I can't see what time it. And I use that so much. I put the Apple Watch on its side while it's charging. I have the little Apple Watch magnetic charge thing by Apple that tilts up. That's really, really easy. And I like that. And that's going to be great for it. It is great next to my nightstand. And AirPower will be something I keep on my desk. I actually want it more for AirPods and iPhone charging. Not really all three Apple Watch, AirPods, and iPhone. I don't really take a lot of time out of my day to just say, like, oh, let me drop my Apple Watch on its charger on my desk. I don't really do that very much, I've noticed. But at night, definitely, I charge my watch. I need to take it off at night and put it on the charge stand, but then I use it as a nightstand. So, yeah. Well, Samsung is experimenting with Tizen, but I wish they would commit fully to that or not at all. Either do stock Android or Tizen, and they keep trying to do this little both merge everything together thing. Yes, I love my Apple Watch for sure. Good purchase. How tall am I? I haven't actually measured in a long time, but I'm like 5'11", I think. And wow, 450 people watching, it says on my end. Thank you very much for joining us, people. Thanks. Agreed, says Isaiah. Okay. Oh, hold on. I realize we've got to account for the countdown. In about 5 minutes, we're gonna move to the after party. Let's see. Dan super chatted says video request list of iPhone 10 copycats. Yeah, I mean that might be a worthy list. Have you guys seen the? I believe I saw it on DxO Mark. If you check out the, I think sorry, Show Me Xiaomi. I can't. You can't get mad at me. I don't. They don't spell their name like the Mi 8 is such an iPhone 10 clone. It's not even funny. I thought the Mi 8 was more of a 10 clone than the Huawei P30. No, sorry, Motorola P30 was just ugh. It was such a direct duplicate. But you know what it is? You know what these copycats are? It's evident of what works. You notice that there's not that many phones that are shipping with the S Pen with a stylus built into it. That's because the Note phone doesn't sell. iPhone 10 is selling incredibly well. That's why everyone's copying them. Okay? That's what keeps people coming back. What's funny to me is all the copycats have dual cameras, but now Apple's making a phone with a single lens camera that'll be budget. So what are people going to copy? This or this? Or they'll probably copy the model of selling both and they'll make two different variants. It'll be interesting at least. Anyway, Macario says, would you rather upgrade a 4-year-old iPad Air 2 to an iPad Pro 10.5 or get a MacBook Pro 13-inch with Touch Bar would be my first Mac. Depends what you need it for, Macario. But personally, since I have an iMac, I would go with an iPad. But if you want to do more professional video grade editing, the Mac would be the better buy. The Moto, the Lenovo phone with the Tech video would be too long. Video would take too long. You're right, Isaiah. Hey, there's Front Page Tech. He says, I gave a full list on last night's Front Page Tech. So, guys, check it out. He's got you covered with that. Full list of all the iPhone 10 clones. I know you've said it in the past, but would you absolutely hate it if Apple Watch became round? Just seeing if you change your mind or not. It's not ideal. I mean, I'm saying that if they made a round Apple Watch and a square Apple Watch, I would still use the square one. But I also have the sheep mentality a little bit of understanding that if Apple did make a round watch, they probably found a way to make it intuitive. They likely found a way to make it work better than it did on the Huawei watch back when I tested it, which was a round watch. But from what I can see, Apple Watches are not just about watch faces. They're about displaying content and displaying text. And when you're displaying text, square is the best way to do that. Books are square, phones are square, screens are square. When you go round, you have to crop in on things. If you have to crop in on pictures, you have to crop in on videos, you have to crop in on text, and you can't display as much without shrinking down the text, and then you have wasted space around the text. So it just doesn't work. It's just not ideal. But if Apple made it, maybe they found a way to make it so that there was an adequate amount of text, or they made it look better. I don't know. It just, to me, a round smartwatch isn't practical. A round regular watch is fine. A round smartwatch doesn't make sense. So that's why I think they're not going to do it. But yeah, that's just a theory. Oh, you're calling it a chin notch. So a chin plus a notch. Yeah, that's basically everyone. That makes sense. I know iOS and macOS may never merge, but you think Apple will put a touchscreen keyboard / trackpad or a control center and weather app on macOS and iPad, but Apple be like, no need. Exactly. Apple will put a touchscreen keyboard / trackpad. I think if they wanted to put a touchscreen on a MacBook, they would have done it by now. The fact that they haven't should show you they aren't interested in doing it. If anything, they're going to convert the entire keyboard, the mechanical keyboard on a MacBook, to a touch bar-like touchscreen. And I know you all hate that. I'm not saying you want that. I'm just saying that's probably what they're moving towards. But I think with laptops, it makes more sense because you have two hands. You got a keyboard and you got your trackpad. You don't need that third method of input. You can look at the numbers. People with touchscreen Windows 10 laptops do not use the touchscreen very much. Rightfully so. There's just not great support for that, for making a Habsy device. I think that if there is a good way to do it, they will do it. Since they haven't, that means there isn't a good way to do it yet. Like making some kind of iPad MacBook hybrid device. The best idea I heard was from my friend Xander on the last Taylor of Tech podcast, which is when he said they should sell the iPad and then make some kind of very expensive but powerful external accessory that you dock via maybe a beefed up smart connector, a little bit better smart connector. So it runs iOS, you dock it with this trackpad and keyboard, and then it turns it into a MacBook. My only problem with that is the price point you would need to put in that keyboard with the extra battery and the extra hardware. I know Windows has done stuff like that, but I'm saying the only problem is it will be the most clunky, expensive iPad and also the most expensive MacBook for very weak specs. So that's the problem you'd keep running into. A hybrid device would be a jack of all trades and a master of none, and that's the problem I think more people would have to run into and figure out how to fix. I got an email from school. We can use iPads for notebooks. Oh, good. Congrats, Rockford. That's nice. Congrats on 100K subs. Have a good day. Love your vids. Thank you, Daniel. Used iPad Pro for school now or after new pros? Wait at least a little bit longer for the new iPads to come out, hopefully at the next keynote. That's less than a month away. Just wait a little bit longer if you can. Obviously, if you absolutely need one, I can't stop you. Justin Beck, Super Chat, it says, regardless of specs, would you agree that Samsung has Apple beat when it comes to bezel-less phones? The notch still seems really intrusive to me. I don't, because the bezel is more noticeable on a Samsung. That's all I'll say, is that the chin is there and it doesn't serve a purpose. The forehead is there. The notch serves a purpose. The notch is embracing the fact that we put display on every inch of this phone we possibly could, and even making it same size bezel on the bottom, very thin, and it's more uniform, I could say. I don't admit that Samsung has them beat because, for one, they have very thin side bezels by curving the display, which distorts it. Last time I used my S9, I found the distortion very noticeable. The sides of the screen bend, and you can see it. I notice it. And I don't see that on the iPhone, and I see the same size bezel all the way around. The notch is there because it needs to be. It's a compromise. Why does the chin need to be there on a Samsung? It doesn't serve a purpose. It's not functional. It's wasted space. Other than I like to put my thumb there. Put a speaker there or something. Put the fingerprint reader there or something. I don't know. I'm not saying bezels are horrible. If you don't mind bezels, that's great. You've got a billion options on the market. We're talking about this guy who says, is Samsung beating Apple in the bezel-less game? I'm saying no. Look at the sales. More people buy Samsung's bezeled phones than their bezel-less phones. So I wouldn't say they're winning. No. Hey, we got a new member, Anthony Fells. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate it. We can remove the notch, and then you have such a uniform experience over time. But how are they getting rid of that chin? They seem to be sticking with it. I don't know. I am trying to address every super chat. I think I've got all the ones on my list. Okay. I agree. Bixby should die. She doesn't need to be there. And we're coming up on the end of our YouTube. Oh, wait. Rockford, Texas. Drew, can you call so I can be in stream? No, I'm doing solo Q&As today, but sorry. Thank you for the super chat. But while the stream on YouTube may be ending, we're going to be continuing the stream over on a much better live streaming site, because if you feel like there's too many people watching this, Drew, I don't want to pay to get my comment answered. I need more live content. I need a smaller audience. I'm going to start spamming a link in the chat. Hopefully no one bans me. Check out that link in the chat, because the stream is going to keep going this very second. As soon as this stream ends, we're going to move over here, which is a much better live streaming site, because it doesn't ban you when you talk about its competitors. So I'll be moving over there now. I'll see you guys very, very quickly. The stream will be wrapping up here, but the stream is definitely not over. So this is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you over there very, very quickly. All right? Take care.